You wrote something exceptional at The Athletic. Oh, okay. I just paid $80 for an Athletic subscription. Got every dollar worth in the article you dropped this morning, and terrific work, honestly. Fantastic work over at The Athletic by you, breaking down Nikita Zadorov's game. But not everybody in this show is an Athletic subscriber, so go ahead and break it down for us on the show.
Yeah, so essentially after the trade happened, I spent a lot of time watching back tape of Zadorov and trying to essentially learn, okay, what type of player is he? What is he going to bring to the table? A few things that, of course, stood out. Number one, the skating ability. He doesn't just skate well for a big man. He skates well for by any NHL defenseman standards, period. And we've got the objective data for this now too, thanks to the NHL Edge tracking statistics. So Nikita Zadorov speed bursts above 20 miles. He's at 24 this season, which puts him essentially in the 71st percentile. So right around the top quarter of all defensemen. And the top speed he's reached this season has him in the 97th percentile of all NHL defensemen. So this guy can absolutely fly, especially when he picks up steam. And it's funny watching him play. Sometimes the way he's able to leverage that skating is so fun to watch. There was one sequence against the Nashville Predators where Zadorov got the puck back at the point. He danced and shook off the winger almost in a Quinn Hughes-like way. Like, seriously, watching him move laterally and with that type of agility, not just north-south, but side-to-side on that play. He made a nice move, makes a pass to Sharangovich, which should have resulted in a scoring chance, but Sharangovich decided to pass it to the right flank to nobody. Seconds later, Zadorov's defense partner blows a tire, so the Nashville forward Yakov Trenin is essentially off to the races on a breakaway. You just see this massive 6'7" freight train gunning it, strips him of the puck clean. Now he's in the defensive zone. And now he like weaves and dangles his way end to end into the offensive end, dumps it in, first man into the forecheck. And you're just like, this is such a fun, exciting sequence to watch. So the skating right away stands out. The physicality, of course. He's got a cannon of a shot too. And sometimes he uses that skating to make aggressive defensive stops as well. I was watching a Colorado game where a lot of times you'll see defensemen sort of sag off and sit back because they are worried about getting walked by somebody like a Nathan MacKinnon. But on that play, Zadorov sort of trusted his lateral mobility and defending the rush, really quickly closed him and just one hand swatted the puck because he has such a long reach as well. So you have those types of plays and you go, wow, on any given shift, he can make a game-changing play, whether it's offensively or defensively, because of his unique combination of speed, size, length. But then there's also the other side of the coin, which is he also has the knack on any given shift to take what should be a routine play and just fumble it, make a big egregious mistake. So I mean, there are some specific examples I wanted to highlight from there, but I also don't want to go off on a 5-minute monologue.
Fair
so
enough.
was there anything you wanted to chime in on?
Well, people in the chat are saying, and I think Wyatt tweeted this, is go watch the Nikita Zadorov hit compilation on YouTube. It was Oznuck, I think. Yeah, he said, I was a bit dubious about Zadorov. Then I checked out his greatest hits video on YouTube. Pretty convincing. And that's an element that he's going to bring to this blue line as well. A guy we were talking to, Bob Germany is what they call him out in Calgary. Robert Munich, his name is. He's our socials guy. He's a Flames fan. We were talking to him, and he pointed out that, excuse me, while Zadorov has struggled when he plays top 4 minutes, he's kind of that guy who's a bit chaotic, but he will drop the gloves even if he's not the best fighter. He still will go at guys and he'll still drop the gloves if the time is necessary. I also realized 2 former teammates on this team. I think he played with Ian Cole like on the same defense pairing in Colorado, and I don't think he played with, but I'd have to check that. Actually, I should ask him. Tyler Myers. When Tyler Myers was in Buffalo, Zadorov was a rookie. So actually, they would have been. I mean, Myers, what, 3-4 years older than him? Anyways, Myers had been there already when Zadorov got to Buffalo. for his rookie year. But just interesting thing that I realized, 2 former teammates.
In sort of referencing the physicality, it was hilarious watching him rock Tyler Bertuzzi in the neutral zone against the Leafs recently. And it's funny because David Kampf started to go up to Zadorov, and Zadorov just standing there looking like he's bored, knowing that nobody's gonna do anything to him because he's the 6'6", 6'7" freight train. And so it's funny, Kampf comes in and he gives him like a shot, like a little light slash, and then Zadorov just like is like almost has this posture of like, come on, do something, I dare you. It just doesn't even move or flinch. And then Kampf inevitably just continues back checking because he's like, I don't want the smoke. So
the Canucks need more of that energy. They absolutely need more of that energy on this team, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also,
yeah, go on.
Like the flip side of it, yes, there's so many positives, but sometimes, yeah, he is capable of brain cramps in situations where sometimes he'll try and be too aggressive defensively, where instead of taking a defensive angle where you just contain the guy, he can reach in too eagerly because he thinks he can immediately kill the play, and then he gets burned on what should not have resulted in a scoring chance. Or there was like one play in a Vegas game I watched recently where he checks Barbashev well, wins the puck battle in the neutral zone, but as soon as he wins the puck battle, he throws it back up the wall right to Barbashev. And because of that, Barbashev just makes a quick pass, and now Zadorov's caught, and it's a 2-on-1 chance for Jack Eichel. It's like those little things, or I mean, they're not really little things. They're pretty sort of memorable mistakes. Or against the Senators, he just had the puck behind his net, so just sort of gave it away, immediately ends up in the back of the net. Now, there's definitely more good than there is bad, and I will say he's better than Tyler Myers because A, he's a better skater, B, he's got a cannon of a shot, C, he's also a better puck handler. So the ratio of good plays versus mistakes is definitely more favorable for Zadorov.
Mm-hmm.
But he's going to be the type of player where one night you watch him and you go, this guy is such a stud, should be in our top 4 every day of the week. And then there are going to be other nights where he's going to make mistakes where he may make you want to pull his hair out.
Pull his hair.
Oh, sorry, pull your hair out.
I'm like, whoa, he's making a huge mistake. Okay, my question for you, Harm, is we keep hearing the stuff about, okay, great in a third pair, struggles when he gets to a top 4. One of the reasons he left Calgary is because he wasn't happy with his ice time. Assuming that the Canucks are going to play him in more of a top 4 role, A, who's his partner, and B, is he going to have success in that role, in your best guess?
Yeah, this is where the medium-term fit is not ideal. I think short term, he's definitely a much needed upgrade, of course, especially relative to some of the depth blue liners they have. And you look at the workload that Cole and Myers have taken on recently, they needed somebody like Zadorov. But once Susie comes back, especially, it's not going to be easy. I think the coaching staff has to show some openness to play a left shot defender on the right side. And if you're going to do that, then I think Zadorov fits best on a pair with Ian Cole, because Ian Cole is more of a calm, steady option who can clean up mistakes, who is just sort of a safety net. You can have a young, wild and free partner like Zadorov on the ice at the same time, and Cole can just be the guy who is rock solid in his own end. And you let Zadorov do some of the more dynamic things because, as we alluded to earlier, he's not just a defensive defenseman. He likes to be active offensively. He's really ambitious, both offensively and defensively. This is somebody on a shift-by-shift basis who wants to make an impact, and that's where sometimes it can get him in trouble, but sometimes that's what also leads to his spectacular plays. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting test. He has improved a lot, I will say, since he got to Calgary compared to his previous stops in Chicago and Colorado, and of course Buffalo before that. And because Calgary was so deep, he didn't get an extended, really long look in the top 4, because on the left side, Flames have Hannafin and more recently Mackenzie Weegar. So you can understand why he was used in a third pair capacity. So maybe he is at the point now, especially if the coaching staff can calm his game down a little bit, to where he can settle into a second pair role.
lots and lots of interaction in the YouTube live chat, which means it's a good time for us to get to anyone else.
Just quickly, we had Dan Milstein on Scaris and Price today, and he said that Zadorov was playing on the right side only out of necessity recently for Calgary, and that the last 6 years he's been on the left side. Sorry, he was playing the right side, but the last number of years he's been a left side guy. So I think in a pinch you can put him over there, but ideally you probably want him on that left side, which is where he was when that decombination of him and Eric Branson were so good a couple years back.
Canucks Conversation with Harman and Quads every weekday at 2 p.m. Be sure to check it out on the Canucks Army YouTube channel. And if you missed it, go check it out on your favorite podcast catcher app.